Hey everyone, we're the Montclair Federation of Pokemon Players. I am Andrew.
I'm Brent.
And I'm Owen. Hey, y'all.
Woo.
Yeah. So, this is the redesigned PokeCast. It's kind of awesome. We've actually did a little bit of work on it, and it's weekly. We now provide weekly content. I know, right?
When my internet's working anyway.
We also kind of
Anyway.
ran into multiple problems. But,
Yes.
So, I think we're all been doing good, right? We all had an awesome Independence Day.
Yes, we did, although I sold, virtually nothing, but whatever.
And I had the day off. Sweet. It's like one of the... Okay.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised you had the day off. Isn't Independence Day supposed to be one of, the busier days for restaurants, or is that why they said,
Oh, no.
take
It's
the day
like
off?
one of the most, dry days for restaurants. It's not even
Oh, wait, I'm
profitable.
stupid, because everyone's having barbecues.
Yeah, people having barbecues in their back.
And actually, a funny story is they were at the whole crew at the restaurant was getting something together, a big barbecue. And the day after, there was a lot of hilarity from being the only one at the restaurant who wasn't hungover. There was a picture of the pastry chef's assistant who was in the army, and it's ironic, I guess. But he was passed out on a park bench, and he was hella drunk and whatnot. I didn't go to the party, mostly because, I kind of knew what was going on there. Although I just shucked so much corn for it. But yeah, it was funny.
Alright, so without further ado, should we get to our new episode topic?
Alright, so usually, now we have segments too, it's awesome. So, now...
Just like a normal podcast.
Yeah, it's weird. But now we usually introduce our guests, but as usual...
We have no guests.
Okay, but... Instead, we have a list. And this is a list we did a little bit ago. And it is all of us rating our favorite champions.
From the Pokemon series.
From the Pokemon series. Of course from the Pokemon series. This is the PokeCast, isn't it?
I'm just saying.
I'm
Goku. Anyway.
Yeah. You might want to adjust your mic just a little bit. Anyway.
All right.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
This is the favorite champions list, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I'll go first, and I'll also list my reasons why I picked the things I did, because it's, probably pretty incomprehensible to most people.
Yep.
So, in order from, should I do best to worst or worst to best, actually?
Yeah, worst is always funnier than best.
Wait. Worst to best, you said?
No, sorry, best to worst.
Oh, goddamn, I can't hear shit. Okay. Alright, so my number one champion is actually Lance, and I know everyone's gonna say, oh, but Blue is the best champion, but I say, no suckers, cause Lance is a fucking Dragon Master, and also because Pokemon Crystal was the first Pokemon game I ever played to completion. So, Lance just really, sticks out to me as the champion. Then of course, on my second, on my list is, Blue, just cause everyone knows Blue. Everyone knows either Gary or Blue, and just beating him is so satisfying. And the music! Oh my god, the music. Love it. Third for me is Steven, because, he actually runs one of my favorite Pokemon in the game, Metagross, and he's just a really cool guy. He doesn't afraid of anything. Cool Pokemon, cool guy, love it. Next up is Cynthia, and she's in fourth just because, I couldn't place her any higher, because everyone else is just, more, awesome than her. And I hate to say it, although, she really is just one of my favorite champions, just because she's badass. And she's a woman, but whatever. Alder's fifth, because I really just don't like him very much. He seems kind of fugly, he needs to shave, his head looks like it's on fire, and his Pokemon are just not memorable. But there is one worse champion, and that's Wallace, who shouldn't even be a champion. All his Pokemon are fucking weak to electric, and he just sucks, and I think he's gay. Yeah. So yeah, that's my list.
Okay. So, Owen, do you want to go next, or should I?
Yeah. Actually, I'm making a quick edit because I actually realized I'm kind of stupid and made a bold decision because I was very tired at the time. But in first, I have Blue, obviously, because he's Blue, and who didn't like that battle and music and whatnot. Second, I have Steven Stew because I absolutely loved this battle. It wasn't very memorable for me at the time. Once I played it again, I love it. I just like his character a lot. I think he's developed in a way. He doesn't very help you out as much as I'd love him to, but yeah. In third, I actually have Lance because he's Lance, and he's a very memorable battle. Although I do think he's more memorable as a Elite Four member rather than a champion. In fourth, I have Alder because I actually liked this guy up until the specific point where he cried to a little kid, which is another big fault of Black and White with their awful story, awful dialogue writing, making it so that he's crying a little in front of a little kid rather than making one last stand, giving up everything, including his dignity, just to save the region that he is the champion of. It's a big fuck up. In fifth, I have Cynthia. I absolutely hate Cynthia, mostly because she's the person who gives you fetch quests and then shows up right where you are after you've done them. I hate her. Her battle might have been interesting and she might have had good Pokemon, but she wastes everything she ever had for character. I just can't place her higher than Alder because overall she was a worse champion to me. And in last place I have Wallace. He's a great gym leader, but he's just not meant to be a champion. Not at all.
I definitely agree with you there.
Is it my time?
It is your time to shine.
Okay, then. I agree with Owen. Blue is my top because that music, I will never... If they played that music on my deathbed, that's one of the many tracks that would not upset me. Second for me is Steven, also like Owen, because he was my first champion, so I guess the same reason as Andrew, but I really love that battle, and I love his Pokemon. I mean, he comes at you with Cradily, Armaldo, Claydol. He comes at you with Pokemon you've never even seen before.
You ain't even seen him!
Okay, don't interrupt me. But anyways, so it's a really interesting battle. Third is Lance, because he was cool. He had a great... I actually don't like the Lance Red music as much as the other champion themes, but definitely was an epic battle. And 3 Dragonites. You can't go wrong with 3 Dragonites.
Triple Dragonite.
Fourth for me is... oh man, I'm looking at my own list, can't find it. Fourth for me is Wallace, which I'm going to differentiate myself from you guys and all the Wallace hate out there, because as much as I'm a traitor. If we didn't disagree, there'd be no argument. As much as he probably is gay, as much as he probably should have been a gym leader, I still think it's like he does the same thing as... He and Steven do the same thing and have almost the same lines. They're just different trainers, and as much as Steven is a better trainer, Wallace serves the same purpose. And I like Milotic. I kind of like his team, so I'm going to put him fourth. Fifth for me is Cynthia, because I have to agree with Owen. She gives you a lot of fetch quests, and she doesn't help you at the moment of Cyrus and Giratina destroying the world, but I like her more than Alder. And... as Owen already pointed out, I liked Alder a lot. He was right on top, near the top of my list because of his chill personality, just wandering the region. But when he lost to N and basically begs for him to, not free all the Pokemon, I lost all respect for him, and I hate him to this day.
Yeah. Alright. Do we have any, key points we want to make about this? In terms of our differentiation between our lists, or do we all kind of agree to disagree?
I think it's pretty much...
The only main area of disagreement is that Andrew likes Cynthia more than us, and I like Wallace more than both of you. That's the only difference.
I mean, you'll never ever get me to really appreciate Wallace.
I don't blame you. He was better as a gym leader. I admit Wallace is better as a gym leader. I just don't hate him as a champ. I don't hate him. I can't hate him.
I think this list, it's a lot of different. It's different from a lot of the other lists we've done already, but because all of them are actually pretty good. As much as you can yell at them, the champions are pretty good on average. And so usually the ones that get left in the dust could be really good in a different kind of list of trainers, but are facing such tough competition that they really don't have much of a choice. But you don't have much of a choice to put them lower than they actually are.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. It's hard to grade when everyone's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
All right. Well, I think that was a fun little segment there. Does anybody have anything else to add?
That was actually pretty painless.
I was just thinking about the teams. Blue's a mixed team. Lance's Dragons. Steven, I want to say is a rock.
Steven is steel and rock.
Yeah, steel and rock. Wallace is water. Cynthia's mixed and Alder's mixed. But if I had to go with who had the best team, I mean, I guess that we just factored that in.
Cynthia, honestly.
I don't know. No, I like Steven's team more. It was more interesting. I mean, you see most of the on Cynthia.
I love Cynthia's team, though. It's just so nicely balanced. It was a fun fight, but once again, that character just killed it for me.
I'm just trying to get some more debate here.
Actually, there's one thing I just absolutely can't stand about Cynthia, and this is actually from 5th Gen.
Spiritomb?
Spiritomb and Double Team.
I knew it!
God. Oh my god.
Double Team Spiritomb. It has no weakness. If it gets off enough double teams, it's going to take forever to kill it. Yeah, it's true. But if I had to go team-wise, I'd probably put Steven first. And Alder's still dead last because he runs Derp Ice Cream, and I hate that.
I mean, like, I'm not mad at him because he runs like Ogamoth. It's just he has no cohesion.
His Ogamoth is his only memorable Pokemon. That and maybe his Buffalin, but that's only because of the show. So basically, 2 of his Pokemon, I don't know, they kind of fit his... Well, Ogamoth's like his guy, and Buffalin fits like his wild theme, but Derp Ice Cream, Druddragon, I don't even remember the other ones. It's just, I don't know how you could live with it. Oh, wait, no, I remember. Excelgor and Escavalier, both, no.
Yeah.
I mean...
Actually, didn't Excelgor, like, used to be OU or something?
Excelgor? I don't know. Excelgor has ridiculous...
He was UU. He was only OU during the testing period when there was no official tier list. Why do I know that?
Why do you know that? I was the only one who raised an Excelgor. No, wait, you made me raise an Excelgor, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah,
so,
it's a good story, though.
It is a good story, even though it had a sad ending. So, should we move on to... Well, actually, who do you think had the best team, just to ask? Like, trying to desperately not let this conversation die.
We're not going to hold on to it for much longer, but I think this is interesting. I would have to go with Cynthia, just because it was a nice varied mixture, and I felt like it was a very fun fight for me.
All right. For me, it's Steven, because I just can't get over how his team was so original. You really can't run into... Few trainers run fossils, except for, like, Brock and Rourke, but you really don't see fossils that much. So you really couldn't prepare for that.
You don't see fossils like that. You see maybe one fossil, you don't see like that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, his team caught you by surprise. I literally was like, what is it? When I first fought him, I don't know what this Pokemon is. How do I fight it? Like, I really treasure that experience. What about you, Andrew?
Wait, sorry, I sort of spaced out for a second.
Talking about who had the best just team.
As far as team, I think as far as, like, pure annoyance and, like variability, I'd say Cynthia.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, you know, Blue had, like, sort of a ridiculously powerful team, at least for the time.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And, you know, Lance hacks,
but if you have an Ice Beam, an Ice Punch, or a Blizzard, you can beat him. Let's be frank here.
Honestly, I had to use Icy Wind a lot.
Icy Wind?
Icy Wind because I didn't have any, like, TMs.
No, well, that's exactly what you said. Lance and Wallace both have that glaring weakness that make the battle possibly hard, but only possibly.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, my main problem when I was, battling Lance, like, on my actual... on my silver version was, like, you know, I had very few Pokemon left and no, like, healing items, or very few healing items. I had, like, one full restore, so I had to sort of ration everything.
I mean,
that does make it more interesting.
With Lance and Wallace, the only reason I would place Lance higher than Wallace in like a team in terms of teams, it's just because Wallace is water, one of the most well-known types and overused types available, and Lance is Dragon Motherfucker. And even though he has much more repetition in terms of his team, he's still very memorable for hyper beaming you to extinction if you're not a good player. If you are, he's really easy, but if you're not, he's the most intimidating person ever, and you'd think he would be a good champion in Gen 1.
True. I have to agree with that.
Alright, well, I think that's enough time. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, but we're not live streaming this, so it doesn't even matter. See you guys in a little bit.